is. Now look where he veers out. I mean, you have to be able to touch the bag. He runs over the bag, but it's going to be, I mean, that's a judgment call on the part of Ted Hendry. I guess he shouldn't be. If they hit him right there, there's not going to be any doubt about the call. Time in the baseline. And now there's the ball rolling down the right field line and no one is chasing it.
How is it first?
And quite naturally, the Yankees pitch out.
Well, the initial thing that Ted Hendry has to look for, he's got two responsibilities here. He's got to judge this ball because it is close to the line, whether it be fair or foul. You have Girardi blocking his view to a certain extent. He's got to come out in fair territory. And Fryman right now in that position, he is out because he's out of the 45-foot lane. So he can be called out on that play. The rule calls that one or both feet must be on the line or inside the 45-foot lane. If you are astride the lane, then you're to be called out. If you're outside the box entirely, the 45-foot lane box, then you ought to be called out.
Is the fact that he veered back toward the bag and was in line with the bag when the ball hit him in the back, is that relevant?
That's the only problem with the rule, the way that it's written. At some point in time, you have to come into fair territory because that's where the bag is located. The entire base is located in fair territory. So at some point in time, Fryman has to come back into fair territory. But here you can see from start to finish, by the time he leaves home plate until he arrives at first base, he was entirely inside the line. So you determine him to be out on that play.
Is there sort of an understanding that unless it's blatant, you let it go?
No, because there's no such thing as intentional and unintentional interference. It either is interference or it isn't. And that's how you have to deem it and rule it.
So you think Fryman should have been out?
Yes.
Joe Torre might think the same thing. The fact remains the Indians lead 2-1. Graham Lloyd comes out of the bullpen, and we'll be right back. Full station.
Well, E5 is right there, and they give him an error.
So Knobloch and Fryman, in a strange way, remain linked in this game.
Gets a late break on it, but he gets there in time. Here's the throw. The ball moves in and hits him in the back. And Ted Hendry doesn't make the call, but look at the ball rolling there, and Chuck is just standing there while everyone is running.
Let's go to Keith Oberman.
Thanks, Bob. I'm with Travis Fryman. Were you inside or outside of the baseline?
I was probably in it just a little bit, but on that particular play, you know, the bag is in fair territory. And your last step of the bag, you have to come back into fair play. And by the time I touched down is when the ball hit me. So, and you're entitled to that last step. So I personally feel like they made the right call if you look at the timing.
The run, though, after you placed the bunt down, were you squeezed out by the catcher trying to make the play? You seem to be on the grass on the way up the first baseline. Well,
normally I will. I mean, I start out inside the grass and then cut back in when I saw I was going to be able to get by Tino. And I tried to straighten out a little bit, but you know, you're in front of the box anyway when you bunt. You want a little more fair territory to work with, so I scooted up a little bit. So your first few steps are in fair territory.
Well handled, Travis Fryman. Bob, back to you.
All right, Keith.
Well, a wild one in the Bronx. It took 4 minutes and 28 seconds to decide it. Cleveland comes out of New York with...
And Jeter just barely misses it. Jeter fastball up and in. Fryman rips it up the middle, and just a nice attempt there by Jeter as he lays out, but he can't come down with it. And because he had to wait, Ramirez only gets to third base.
The Yankees played 704 baseball this year as part of their historic regular season. It's almost unheard of to play 700 ball for the full season. But if the Yankees lose tonight, they'll have to play 750 ball the rest of this series to win the pennant.
Well, the only...
The Cleveland would give you much of a series. Are you surprised?
Well, Cleveland's a good club. They've been here a few years in a row, Jimmy, and you know, we need to hit a little bit. We haven't been hitting. Not to take anything away from Cologne. He pitched a hell of a ball game, but we need to get back on the stick.
Joe, your team has not been behind since April 21st. How do you think that they'll react?
Well, we've bounced back many times before. So I guess now that we're down 2-1, we're not the favorites anymore. We'll see what happens.
Joe, thank you. We look forward to tomorrow.
Okay, Jim.
Let's send it across the way to Keith Olbermann.
Thanks very much, Jim. I'm with Jim Thome after 2 home runs and this big victory. Do you believe in momentum, and did the Game 2 victory give it to you?
Well, you know, I think all season long we've battled all year long. We know the Yankees have a very good ball club. You know, we got to stay focused. And the bottom line is we got good pitching. And Bartolo came out tonight, did an excellent job. I think our offense hit a very good pitcher in Andy Pettit. And, we're just going to go back and get ready for tomorrow.
They took a 1-0 lead on you, and then you tied it up with the first of the 2 home runs. Any thought that you didn't have it? You didn't have that momentum going before that homer was hit?
Well, to be honest, when they got off the on the board 1-0, Bartolo settled in. After I hit the home run, it got the crowd into it, and we just carried it on from there. And I think Bartolo did an excellent job.
How much different does it make it for you to come back here up or tied 1-1 rather than down 2-0? I mean, obviously it's a win, but what does it mean psychologically?
Well, we knew going into New York we wanted a split. We got a split the last day, and we got the win in extra innings, and I think that helped us mentally, knowing we were coming back to this crowd. And since '95, this crowd's been into it, and they helped us out tonight, and we're going to keep it going.
Is there some sort of crowd or noise? Congratulations,
yeah,
Jim. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bob, back up to you.
Keith, thanks a lot. Despite the long ball heroics of Thome, Ramirez, and Witten, tonight's Chevrolet Player of the Game is Bartolo Colon. And once again, the final score is the Indians 6 and the Yankees 1. I guess we have a series and then some. Tomorrow, a full day of sports on NBC. Begins with the Michelob Championship at Kingsmill at 3 Eastern.
Fryman.
The Yankees have had 2 3-run.
And the ex-Tiger takes a look at a pitch too high. That one's on the outside corner. Travis Fryman attacked one, though, against Willie Blair. Very first pitch that he saw, there it was hanging up there for him. And out it went into the first row of seats.
You got to ask yourself now, why did Travis swing it at a first pitch breaking ball? Travis isn't a breaking ball hitter, but he did his homework on his first AB. He went up there. He was looking breaking ball. He was looking mistake. He got mistake, and he drove it.
And he drives this one to right field, but Higginson's there. Heels near the warning track, first out. Travis Fryman, who was held to just 1 hit last weekend at Tiger Stadium, now 2 for 3 tonight.
Been a part of this industry for 35 years.